So it turns out that using physics to rig tank tracks is not that difficult after all. Now, I thought it was really complicated because I haven't seen any videos on YouTube about this before, but I took my time to learn and do some research and figure out how to do it, and it's really not that difficult at all. So I'm going to show you guys just how I did this. And let's not even waste time with a boring intro, so let's get right into this. Now guys, when you want to use physics in Blender, make sure to save the file before you do anything else, okay? And Blender is going to crash a lot when you use physics. I don't know why. I guess Blender just has a hard time processing physics, but it's going to crash a lot, and it gets really annoying because you're going to lose your progress. So remember to save it, and remember to quick save it all the time. And now we're going to move the cube up a little bit, and we're going to add a plane. Now we're going to scale this plane up, and then we're going to scale it a bit more on the y-axis. And this is because our tank is going to be moving in the y direction, like this, and we want to have a bit more space for movement there. And then we're going to remodel the cube so it looks a little bit more like the hull of a tank. And this pointy part here is going to be the front, okay? This is the direction which a tank is going to move in. Now I'm going to place my 3D cursor on that vertex there, and I'm going to add a cylinder. And this is going to be our first wheel. And I'm going to go to side view. I'm going to rotate this by 90 degrees around the y-axis. And I'm going to scale it down. And I'm just going to move it so it's a little bit under the tank. And make sure you also move it to the side so it doesn't clip through the tank. And now let's select the plane and let's go over to the physics panel. And in the physics panel, you're going to click on rigid body. You're going to set the type to passive, and you're going to set the collision shape to mesh. And then we're going to select the hull. We're also going to add a rigid body. This time we're going to leave it on active, and we're going to set the mass to 10 kilograms. And then we're going to select the wheel. We're going to add another rigid body to that. It's also going to be active. It's going to have a mass of about 3 kilograms, and we're going to set the collision shape to cylinder. And now if you play your animation, you're going to see that these two items are going to fall down on the plane. The plane is not going to move because it's passive, so it just stays there, but it also collides with the other objects. So far, so good. Now we're going to select the wheel, and after that we're going to select the hull. Then we're going to go up here to the object menu. We're going to go to rigid body, and we're going to click connect. Now you're going to get this little menu down here. You want to click that open. You want to set the type to generic spring. You want to set the location to selected. And now you're going to get this empty in the middle of your wheel here. Now let's select the empty and then select the wheel, and then press Ctrl P and parent, object, and keep transform. And now this empty is going to allow us to use some constraints. So we're going to go over here, we're going to check the Y angle and the Z angle. And this is because we don't want the empty to rotate around the Z or the Y axis. We only want it to rotate around the X axis like this, so that the tank actually moves forward. We're going to select all these numbers here, and we're going to set those to 0. Now let's scroll down a little bit and go to the linear menu, and then check the X axis and the Y axis, and also select all of those and set them to 0. Now let's scroll all the way down, and let's check this last box over here. And we're going to set the stiffness to 300 and the damping to 15. And now if you play your animation, you can see that the hull of the tank is kind of bouncing off this wheel. And this is going to be our first wheel done here. Now we're going to duplicate this thing and move it back by 2 units. So we're going to move it by -2 on the y-axis. Now we have 5 wheels here. Now once you duplicated those a few times, you want to place your 3D cursor in the middle, and then select all your wheels and go up here and set your pivot point to 3D cursor. And then go to this little options menu and check the locations box. And this way, when you duplicate your wheels with Shift D and you scale them to -1 on the X-axis, they're going to be reflected perfectly to the other side of the tank. And now we basically have a little car with 10 wheels on it. And you can see the wheels also have some suspension on them. And if we make this plane a sort of downhill, and you play the animation, you can see the tank sort of rolls downhill and it acts just like you would expect it to. Now we're going to select the 2 front wheels from side view. We're going to duplicate those and move them over to the front. And this is going to be our first tension wheel. We're going to move the rest of the wheels backwards just a little bit. And then we're going to select this constraint in the front here. And we're going to check the Z-axis in the linear menu. And we're also going to set that to 0. And then we're going to go all the way down and we're going to uncheck the Z-axis spring there. And we're going to do the exact same thing for the other one. Now when you play the animation, you see these front wheels don't move at all. They're just fixed at the body. So we're going to select those 2 wheels and the constraints. We're going to duplicate them and move them to the back of the tank. And these are going to be your sprockets. Now we're going to place our 3D cursor to the bottom of this wheel here. And we're going to add in a path curve there. Now let's rotate this path curve. And then in side view, we're just going to wrap this curve all the way around all the wheels. Now you want to try to make this curve as tight as possible around the wheels, but make sure it doesn't collide or go through any of the wheels, because then you're going to have some collision problems with the physics. So take your time to make this as accurate as possible. Then we're going to add a cube to the same place where we added the curve. And we're going to scale that cube all the way down. And then we're going to scale it up on the X-axis so it's about the same width as the wheel. And we're also going to give it some length on the Y-axis. And this is going to be our first track. We're just going to add an array modifier to that. And then we're also going to add a curve modifier. I'm going to crank this number up in the array modifier. I'm going to mess around with the y-axis factor until the tracks match each other perfectly. And I figured for me something like 1.397398 was perfect. But this is probably going to be a bit different for you. Now you just want to double check that there's no collision between the tracks and the wheels. If there is, just make your curve a little bit wider around that part of the wheel. Then I'm going to select all these constraints here, and I'm going to add those to a new collection. So I'm going to add a new collection. I'm going to put all those in there, and I'm going to name that collection wheel constraints. Then I'm going to add another collection for just the wheels, and I'm going to move all the cylinders into that collection. Then we're going to add one more collection. We're going to name that tracks, and in that we're going to put this cube that we use to make the tracks. Now make sure that you make this collection here, because you're going to separate this cube and you're going to have over 100 different objects here. So it's going to be much more easier to manipulate them after you separate them. Now let's apply the curve and the array modifiers, and then select the tracks, go to edit mode, press P, and separate them by loose parts. And now you can see all the tracks are individual objects. And now we have like 80 different objects here. So let's select all of those. And in object mode, you want to go to the object menu, set origin, and origin to geometry. And now all the origins are going to be in the middle of every track. And we're also going to go to object, rigid body, and add active. And after that, we're going to go to the same place, object, rigid body, but we're going to click connect this time. And then we get this abomination of a rig. But we're just going to change the type to hinge. We're going to leave the location at the center. And the connection pattern is going to be chain by distance. And now you can see the empties look a little bit more organized. And now we have 80 new objects again, so we're also going to add those to a separate collection. And we're going to name that collection track constraints. Now we can select all of those more easily. Now if you move all those around, you're going to notice that there's one little gap where they're not connected. So we want to select those two tracks which are not connected. You want to go to the object menu again, rigid body, and connect, and just do the same thing. Type, hinge, location center, and chain by distance. And also move that constraint to the same folder as the others. And now with all those selected, set your pivot point to individual origins and just scale them down a little bit so it's easier to work. And also make sure to rotate them all by 90 degrees on the y-axis. And now if you play your animation, the physics are going to work, and it actually looks like there's some tracks wrapped around the wheels. Now let's delete the wheels from the other side, and let's take this constraint here from the sprocket in the back, and let's move it to the outer part of the wheel. Then we're going to select the wheel, we're going to select the hull, we're going to go to Object, Rigid Body, Connect, and this time we're going to set the type to Motor. The location is going to be selected, and the connection pattern is going to be selected to Active. And this is going to add a new empty to the middle of the wheel, and this is what's going to put power in the wheel. And now in the physics settings, we can check the angular box here in the motor settings, target velocity 3 and max impulse 5. But we're going to change these up later. And now again, I'm going to duplicate this whole rig and put it on the other side of the tank. Now when we play the animation, you can see the physics work fine, but the tank is not moving, so I guess we just need more power. Now I'm also going to reduce the weight of all the tracks. I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to go to the physics tab. I'm going to set the mass to 0.25 kilograms, and make sure you hold Alt before you press enter, because that's going to apply the same settings to all the other tracks that you have selected. Now even though the tracks are a lot lighter, the tank is still not moving. So let's select our motor constraint, and let's set the max impulse to something like 20. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And now if you play the animation, you can see it slowly starts moving forward. And then it just rolls off the plane. Let's hide some of the constraints here because they look really ugly. Now let's go to side view and let's remodel the terrain so it has some bumps, so we can see if the suspension actually works over some bumps. And now this thing just rolls over the bump without any issue, so that's good. But now we want to select the two front wheels, and then go to edit mode, and then select the two faces on the sides of the wheels. And then set your pivot point to individual origins, and extrude those two faces out by just a little bit. Then we're going to select the two loops that we created on each wheel, and then set the pivot point back to median, and extrude those out and just scale them up on the Z and the Y axis. And that's going to create this sort of rim around the wheel just to hold the tracks in place. Now when you do that, make sure you select both wheels and set the collision shape to mesh. And we're just going to do the exact same thing on the rear wheels. Now if you want to make this thing move faster, you can increase the target velocity or the max impulse. I'm going to set my target velocity to something like 8, but you can go even higher than that if you want to. And that is it. This thing works perfectly. Now, if you guys want me to show you how to animate this thing, how to make it turn to the left or the right, let me know in the comments below, because I am going to have to make a separate video for that because it is a slightly different story. But if you like this tutorial, do check out some of my other videos. I have plenty of tutorials on how to make tanks, and I have plenty more on the way. So I hope you did learn something, and I do hope to see you around in the future.